In my very hands right here, I have the 11 reasons why you should not move to Dallas. Now, of course, I live here, but I'm just going to caution you if you're thinking about making that move or transitioning over into the Dallas area, there are some pretty big negatives that you want to be aware of before you make that move. So I just want to get that out of the way and share these with you, really in no particular order, but from what I see from my viewpoint that we hear a lot of complaining about, especially once people actually get here. So this should give you a little bit of prep there. And by the way, my name is Levi Lassick, and if you're thinking about making a move to the Dallas, Texas area, make sure you check the info below for our contact information. And I'm inviting you to the comment section as well. So if you're a local and you're here in Dallas and we missed something that you don't like about Dallas, make sure you let us know in the comments. And if you have any questions, maybe you're coming from out of state or considering a move here to the Dallas area, you can comment below as well and let us know what questions you may have. So let's start out with, I'm gonna just go with number one right here, which is the weather. This is something that comes up quite a bit, of course, because it gets hot in Dallas. And let me just say that in the summertime, it's hot, and in the wintertime, it's cold. So being up here in North Dallas, we are what's considered more of a dry heat. Yes, we still get the humidity, which that's what a lot of people don't like about Texas in general, is the humidity. Now, me growing up in this environment, I mean, I'm used to it. I'm conditioned. But the last summer or two have been a little toasty, okay? But in the summertime, it gets hot. July, August, some of the hottest months, of course. And that's usually, though, a good time to take your vacation. So if you are coming from out of state and you've got family in California, New York, Illinois, Washington State, that's a perfect time that you want to get back there and visit family. And this is that Travis now? The first time ever that he's early. First time that he's early. Hey, trying to make a video here.
Why do I feel like I'm always interrupting
okay,
making your videos? Then?
You can. Well, why don't you come in and join, and we can talk about. Yeah, you want to? We'll just reposition a little bit. Sit, have a seat.
Oh, okay.
Get relaxed. Now Penny's gonna get all excited. Penny. All right, so we're talking about the 11 negatives of living in Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
There's 11 negatives?
Oh, I like that shirt too.
You like that? Hey, we're kind of matching. Right?
We look kind of like a couple of spring chickens.
Why do you always get the good ones?
Like we're ready.
No, I'm just kidding.
I thought green was your color.
No, it's great. It's great. So there's 11 negatives to living in Texas, Dallas, Texas, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there could be more. They'll have to let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
but,
okay. All right.
If we miss
I'm
a
sure
couple,
they will.
But I've got the holy grail right here, the list, okay?
Nice.
So actually I just started with weather. It's hot in the summer, it's cold in the winter. That we're not conditioned for cold here, you know? And so, Penny, you're gonna have to calm down a little bit, all right? It's definitely cold in the winter. I think once it drops below 70 is the threshold.
It's cold for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you like the.
I like the cold.
Whatever.
I don't think it gets that cold in the winter.
Okay.
Like there's like a couple weeks like total where it's like cold in the winter, but it ain't that bad.
Okay, but I've actually lived in Chicago, Pittsburgh, and New York.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of cold up there. So if that's what you're used to, I know I've been out, especially when the sun is shining and it's 30 degrees. It doesn't really feel that bad when you're up north. Here, it like chills to the bones, in my opinion, okay? And that's mainly because of the humidity and because we're in this environment. When it gets cold here, it's a different type of cold than what is experienced up north. So me, I don't like it. I guess crazy man over here, although he is running an Ironman too. So yeah, you'll be in that swimming in that freezing water.
It's gonna be great, man.
That's right. You scuba dived without even a wetsuit.
Yeah, with the sharks.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was pretty cool.
I do remember.
You weren't there because I invited you. You're like, nah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, I don't swim with sharks. Only in the business world do I swim with sharks.
Exactly, for sure.
All right, so you like the cold here.
I think like when it comes to the weather, like in the Dallas area and Texas, just in general, I mean, I feel like we really do have like all 4 seasons, right? Like the summers are really warm. Again, like it's July right now, but I feel like it's been a decently mild summer this year. We haven't hit any triple digits yet, I don't think.
We just got a cold front come through. It's like 88 degrees.
It's nice outside right now and it's sunny. And so like there are summers where it's really, really hot where we have, 30 days of 100+ degree temperature. But I feel like so far this summer it's been pretty mild. I don't think we've hit any triple digits yet. So there are going to be a couple weeks, maybe a couple months throughout the summer that are really, really hot. But what I really love about living here, I know we're talking about what we don't like, but
well, why are you turning the tables here?
Well, in the spring or in the fall, it's really nice.
Well, spring too.
Yeah, spring is really nice as well. And then of course, you move into the winter. So like if you don't want to move over here because you have a couple really hot months in the summertime, then you definitely don't want to be living in the Dallas area or Texas in general if you don't like hot weather. And then of course, I think that we have a couple weeks, maybe a couple months in the wintertime where it gets really, really cold and it gets really icy. Sometimes we get a little bit of snow, but for the most part, I mean,
it's more like January, February.
Exactly.
So those are like the two wishy-washy months.
Yep.
January can be 70 and then all of a sudden it's 30 or snowing.
Yeah.
And February is always weird.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, in the wintertime, I mean, it's kind of like an extended summer, where it's like, it's really nice for
most of my Christmas pics with the family in December, on December 25th, we're in t-shirt and shorts outside, usually squinting into the sun. So even during December, it's usually warm here.
Yeah, I agree. But if you don't like hot summers, don't move here. If you don't like a couple cold months, maybe you don't want to move here. I feel like it's kind of hard to get away with that anywhere, really. There's just a couple places, but for the most part, I mean, the summers do get pretty warm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's go to. I thought I had a pen somewhere around here. Maybe not. Okay. All right. So let's go to number 2. I've got allergies on the list because we get a lot of complaints about allergies. Now, lucky for me, I never had allergies. So
I don't really either, man.
I mean, I don't, but I know people that die here.
Sam gets like really bad allergies. Yeah, definitely.
She's really I've got a friend that in the springtime when the allergies hit pollen season, I mean, he just dies for about 3 months.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going through that.
Yeah.
Of course, he'll take some medicine and things like that, but allergies can be pretty rough here. The pollen, sometimes it snows. Snow's yellow.
Yeah, it does. You can see it on your glass.
If you park outside, you can sometimes you'll see like a nice little coat of yellow. That's just a lot of pollen moving around. There's other allergies out there that just people are sensitive. All the flowers and the trees that we have here. So
I have definitely heard that before. I mean, my mom was like really prone to getting really bad allergies. I know Sam gets allergies, and like sometimes my kids will get allergies for a little while. Nothing like crazy, nothing too severe from what I've seen. But I mean, I have heard from several other people that the allergies can be kind of crazy over here. So I guess that would be one reason if you don't want to deal with the allergy season. But for the most part, I think that's pretty short-lived for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if you have allergies, that's something you want to consider. Talk to your doctor. We're not licensed physicians, by the way, but I don't know.
You're a doctor of real estate.
Yeah, I am a doctor of real estate.
Wait, you're the doctor of YouTube.
Okay.
I'm the doctor of real estate.
I'm the physician assistant when it comes to real estate. So if you have bad allergies, come in the summer, visit, something like that, just to make sure. But of course, I mean, as far as I know, they've got medicine for that type of stuff, so you could be okay. All right, so we got allergies off the list now. Oh, there's my pen. All right, I just want to make sure I'm keeping track here. Check. Ooh, property taxes. Although I kind of want to save that till the end because that's a big question that comes up, especially being in real estate. Property taxes. Let's go next to the bugs. All right.
Yeah, the bugs.
Oh yeah, you're not a fan of spiders, huh?
I'm not a fan of really any bugs, especially spiders. You
look so tough though.
Yeah, I know, man. I am tough. You know what I mean? But it's just like, there's just a couple fears that I have, and one of them happens to be spiders. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of spiders here.
There are a lot of spiders. There's mosquitoes. There's
not deadly ones though.
Well, you don't see those very often, but there are some, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they got the black widows out there, you know what I'm saying?
Brown recluse.
They got the brown recluse. I got bit by a brown recluse when I was little. I still got a little scar from it, but that's probably why, my hand all swelled up and everything, like right here.
Yeah.
And so, but that's probably why I'm just not a big fan of the spiders, man. I literally just spent last weekend, we have Nova's birthday party coming up, and I sprayed, there were cobwebs on the back porch or back patio, however you want to call it. And so I sprayed all that stuff. I pressure washed everything on the back porch. All the concrete was super clean and things like that. I'm just not a big fan of the bugs, but what I personally do is every single quarter I have the yards treated, and so it makes it a lot less bad than what it would normally be if you
I have a company that comes around every quarter.
Exactly.
They look for the cobwebs, the spider webs.
Yep.
Although they missed a huge wasp nest on my fence. I called them. I was like, you guys were just here. There's a big wasp nest right on so they'd come back, take care of the wasp.
Yeah.
And actually on the back porch it was funny because we've got security camera in the back patio, and I hate to admit this, but there was a spider back there.
Yeah.
I went to throw something on it. I'm wearing my flip-flops,
Yeah.
and I missed him, and he literally jumped on my foot.
Oh, hell no. Excuse me,
I was
no
like,
way.
I
I'm
did
freaking out.
some kung fu karate chopping stuff, and Camu's back there. She starts dying.
Is this
laughing.
recorded?
It's on video.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Yeah. And so anyways, yeah, you just want to make sure if you're going in for the kill to make sure you actually...
You gotta really kill it.
Yeah, you take them out. And don't wear flip-flops maybe either. Don't
I would
do
be
that.
freaking out, man, if that
Although
happened.
flip-flops are a good shoe of choice here in the summertime.
Yeah, you gotta, of course.
You gotta do
I'm
that.
wearing flippy flops right now.
Bugs. Oh, June time as well. We have what are called June bugs.
Yeah.
Literally, they come for the month of June.
Yep,
As soon as
that's
like
it.
June 1st hits, all these... They're like flying beetles that will just run into your head. They're not that smart because you'll hear them like smacking into the windows. I got
completely harmless, but they're just a lot of them.
We were out walking the other morning and one just flew directly into my forehead and like bounced off. It kind of hurt a little bit.
Yeah, they're hard. Yeah, they got hard shells.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, it's funny.
Cicadas. You can hear the
Dude,
cicadas.
I saw this huge one fly by the other day. It was like either yesterday or the day before. This huge one flew, and like Noah, he's like my son's almost 1 now, and he looked at it like flying by, like he was like, what was that noise? Because it was like super loud. But I actually paused my membership because I was having them do it every single quarter, and in the wintertime, I paused it in probably February or March because I'll just start it back up in a couple of months, and I never started back up. And I can tell a huge difference because I hadn't been getting it treated versus when I had to get it treated. So today I have them coming back out to treat because I was seeing everything, but should eliminate a lot of that stuff for sure.
Okay, bugs. All right, so that's number 3. Dallas is big. All right. It is big. This is something that when we have people, especially coming in from out of state to make their move here, it's a lot. I mean, I think there's 250 suburbs on the last count, 250 plus suburbs just in the Dallas, Texas area. And a lot of times people will say, hey, first of all, we love your videos. We've narrowed it down to 2 or 3 areas, which is great. That's definitely a resource you want to utilize on the channel. Is watch a lot of those videos. We've done a lot of neighborhood tours for that reason, so that people don't come into town feeling overwhelmed. But even here, we are literally an hour from downtown Dallas. It's only about 35 minutes or 35 miles, but it's an hour. It's an hour drive, and almost everywhere you go is going to be 30 to 40 minutes. And that could even be on a good day. You throw in some traffic in there and it could be even more interesting. But depending on where you want to get to, and this is something else we've talked a lot about, is Frisco becoming like the new hub of Dallas. So, Dallas-Fort Worth is referred to as DFW, and, we're saying it's going to become DFFW, Dallas-Frisco-Fort Worth, because up north here now there's just so much happening. I mean,
it's blowing up. It's crazy.
You've got, and especially with the Universal Kids Resort coming in, you've got the Fields Frisco development, you've got all these master plan communities everywhere, especially like the lagoon communities now.
Yeah, those are blowing up too.
Some of them have 20 acres inside the community of full water parks, bowling alleys, surfing. It's crazy the amenities and everything they're starting to add to these communities up here. By the way, we've done a lot of videos on those as well, so you can explore those options. But it's massive. So you have to think about commute time. You have to think about drive time. You have to think about if you're a frequent traveler, getting to the airport. You've got to think about getting to work. If you're going to be working downtown, where you live absolutely matters. And then, the closer you are to Dallas, you've got a lot of factors to go into there as well, but you can, and if you're commuting during rush hour, going to be a problem. So just depending on where you live.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably one of the most frequently asked questions is about the different communities and the different areas, because people will like Prosper, Texas, and they'll like Frisco, Texas, and they'll like Salina, but maybe they're working in Dallas. And it's like, okay, well, you got to understand that, if you, even though it shows, 30 miles or 35 miles, if you're driving, in traffic to get from Prosper to Dallas, first thing in the morning, it's going to take at least 50 to an hour easily. Now, if you go up to Salina, you got to add another 15, 20 minutes. And there's just a lot of different factors, because you can be in Frisco right on the tollway, and that could save you 20 minutes from just being, another 5 miles away from the tollway, because you have so many lights and so much traffic driving in. Maybe you want to go out east to Rockwall or something like that, but you're working in Dallas. There's a lot of different factors, and that's why we would highly encourage y'all to reach out to us, because we can can really break down, every single place in DFW, what it's close to, how long it's going to take for you to get there. Because like Levi was saying, there's a lot of factors. Like, do you want really great, highly rated school districts? Like if you go to greatschools.org and you're looking at highly rated schools, typically those can be a little bit further out, right? Or maybe you're looking at living in Dallas, Texas, and you really want to be in Dallas. Maybe they have a great elementary school that's rated a 10, but the middle school and the high schools are like 2s or 3s rated on greatschools.org. So do you really want to live in Dallas, or maybe do you want to move up to Plano or Frisco to be a little bit further away where they may have, highly rated schools, elementary school, middle school, high school? Or do you want to live out east? Because like if you're moving out east and you're going out to the Rockwall area, those schools over there are highly rated. But if you're getting on that traffic on Highway 30 coming into Dallas, especially right now with all the construction that's going on, I mean, you're looking at an hour and a half to get into Dallas. So do you want to go out east? Do you want to go down into Forney because you still got another hour and 15 minutes to get into Dallas from out there? So it really just depends on, hey, are you working from home? Are you working, are you going to be working at a specific location? We want to dial that in for you and help break all that down, because there's just so many different variables and so many different options, hundreds and hundreds of individual communities, even within just one city. Like in Windsong Ranch, there's like 8 different individual communities basically like within Windsong Ranch. So it's like which phase or which part of Windsong Ranch do you want to live in, right? So there's a bunch of different variables when it comes to like Texas, and a lot of people don't think about how big it is and how expansive it is until they get out here, and it's like, dang, Frisco to McKinney's 30 minutes, so it's just, there's a lot of variables.
And there's communities, like you said, communities within the communities that are within the suburbs, within the city, and even when you get in these communities, every little aspect of it, phase or whatever you want to call it, phase, community, section, it's different, right? Now here, you mentioned Windsong, I mean, most of them are completely built out, so you'd only be able to move into pre-existing homes at that time. If you want new construction, you're going to have to move on to the final phases that they're working on. But if you get into a new construction community at the beginning, you're going to kind of have your choice, except they usually open up, a couple of phases in the beginning. So if you kind of want to be in a different area or different part of that community, you might have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, you could have to wait a little bit for sure.
But it's big, so you've got to think about all that stuff, because there's a lot going on here, and we're not waterlocked or landlocked really. No. So we're just going to keep growing more and more and more. All right, so actually that kind of feeds into traffic. So we kind of touched on traffic. Because it is big. They're building. We've got loops and loops and loops, and so it's funny because people in the Dallas area don't think of the ones that are outside the 635 loop, right?
Right.
LBJ 635. Once you go past that, they don't consider that Dallas anymore, even though you get into North Dallas, and then you move into Frisco, Plano, Frisco, Prosper, Salina, Melissa, Anna, all these areas. But most people still, those people still consider themselves part of Dallas. I think, They don't, you consider it as the Metroplex. So you will hear this referred to a lot as just Dallas as a whole. But the diehards, are below 635, and they try to stay within that pocket. So again, going back to traffic, if you're working downtown Dallas, a lot of people live in that area. But actually, a lot of people do live in Plano, McKinney, and Frisco that commute to downtown.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. I mean, they live all over the Metroplex. I mean, they go down south or they'll go out east, they'll go out west. I mean, you got Flower Mound, South Lake. A lot of people like being in South Lake and Coppell and those areas over there, kind of west to northwest, because it's still, you're really close to the airport over there and you got great access into Dallas. But again, I think the infrastructure here is actually really well done, but still there's just so many people moving here. Like if you're coming and traveling in those main hours, like in the morning around 7, 8 o'clock, or coming home around 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and you're trying to get out of Dallas, and you're trying to get up north or out east or out west, I mean, the traffic can definitely stack up. But I think what's really cool is like even moving up north into North Dallas, into the Plano and Frisco area, they've been doing a lot of construction widening the North Tollway, right? And I think that once they do that, they've added several lanes there. I mean, I think that's going to make a huge impact on the traffic on the North Tollway. I mean, I love that they're doing that, because that's like, why are we paying tolls if we're sitting in traffic all day? What's the whole point? The whole point of the tollway is to be able to like fly down the highway 75, 80 miles an hour and get to where you're getting to really, really quickly.
It's double taxation. I thought we already paid taxes for roads and bridges.
Well, we don't even have taxes on here. We got property taxes, but let's not talk about taxes. We don't want to get down that rabbit hole.
But I don't know. I mean, building opening Universal as well, though, right there in Frisco. That's going to be very interesting for people living in prosperous Salina, Melissa, Anna, these neighborhoods and suburbs that are starting to really blow up.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have to cut through that.
Yes,
and they're expecting on the weekends an extra 7,500 to 8,000 visitors. So just imagine
that's a lot.
That. I'm thinking, is that going to be like a ball game? When you go to the, you try to get to the ball game. Yeah. And it's just terrible. I'm like, I hope that's not every weekend.
Well, I don't go to Dallas that much, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, but when you cut past Frisco right there, I mean, it's just right there.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's the thing is like if you're up here and you're not working in Dallas, I mean, you don't really have to hit that traffic too much, because that's going to be really congested right there on the tollways, going east to west and north to south.
Or maybe we'll be going there.
Or maybe we will be going there all the time.
We'll get the season pass.
Exactly. Oh, dude, the kids will love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great
for sure.
But that's a pro too and a con at the same exact time. But there's going to be plenty of fun stuff to do.
Traffic sucks. But
simply
actually,
put,
you know what? But again, living in Chicago, Pittsburgh actually wasn't bad. New York, I lived in Long Island. Terrible traffic.
Yeah.
LA,
the good thing, like the big.
The good thing about Dallas here, though, is that it mostly stays moving.
Yeah,
it's not often that you just get deadlocked and sit there for hours. I mean, maybe you get delayed 15, 20 minutes. I think that seems like an eternity to us.
Yeah, we're just not used to that. But at the same time, it's like I feel like the most time that there is traffic is in the busy hours in the morning and in the afternoons. Like when I'm like driving throughout the day. But I know other major cities, there's traffic just all the time everywhere. So I don't think it's too bad, but it could definitely be annoying for sure.
All right, we interrupt this program for just a quick second. If you're a homeowner here in the Dallas, Texas area and you want to get a free evaluation on your home, then go ahead and check the description below. We have a free home evaluation tool. It's just an estimate. If you want a more accurate number, make sure you reach out, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd be happy to help you figure out the exact number if you're thinking about selling your house. And if you're relocating here from out of state, then just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Dallas. Now, back to the video. All right, I'm going to skip down the list a little bit here because traffic also kind of plays into lack of public transportation.
Yeah.
So lack of public transportation, by the way, this is a driving city. So if you're not used to having a car, you will need one. You will need driver's license. You will want to be able to commute. If you try to Uber or Lyft, that bill is going to be outrageous.
Yeah, from north to south,
getting around. But other than that, you have to be in Plano. Plano's the closest you're going to get to the suburbs to get to transportation to get downtown. They do have a dart rail that you can jump on. And then once you get downtown, I mean, you can try to navigate the bus system and everything like that. It's just not that great. It's not, like New York or Chicago or the Pacific Northwest or somewhere where they do focus on public transportation. Here, it's not even really, I would say, much of a consideration. So now if you live downtown Dallas, I mean,
no problem.
You could definitely get around. But anytime you do public transportation, that's going to add a little bit of time to your commute if you're trying to connect. Now, if you don't want to, if you hate traffic, you live in Plano, or even if you live in Frisco or up, further north, you could drive to Plano, park, take the dart rail downtown. And if you work in a tower down there or something, then you could probably walk or navigate. What's really cool about downtown is they have a whole underground system underneath the city. Yeah. You ever been down there?
Not really.
Okay. It's crazy though.
I don't mind driving.
They have restaurants, but you can go down there. It's a whole tunnel system underneath the city of Dallas. And it's almost like being in the mall because there's shops and restaurants. A lot of the people from the towers go down underneath there, and that saves them from the heat during the summer, especially walking around. But you can get to other towers completely underground. Most people don't even know that. It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never experienced it.
It's like a city underneath there.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but if you wanted to get the dart rail, that's about it. But otherwise, if you're up here in the suburbs, hardly to no public transportation. I don't think I've even seen bus systems around here.
No, nothing. Just school buses. That's about the extent of that.
So lack of public transportation for sure, especially in the suburbs. Even if you're in Dallas, the one thing I will say about Dallas too, terrible about bike lanes and things like that.
Yeah, I agree about that. Yeah, you won't catch me driving.
It's not even like Chicago, bike lanes everywhere.
Yeah.
New York, bike lanes. Some of the bike lanes are wider than the roads. And so not friendly here to bikers. You have bike lanes on some roads and then they're just not there at all whatsoever. So that's unfortunate too, even for the downtown people, because they just don't really put that much of an emphasis. I think they're starting to add in a lot more.
Yeah, I've heard they are starting to make some serious improvements on that.
And I like how, actually, like in DC, Washington, D.C., it's kind of cool because they have cars can park on the road, and then the bike lane is in between the parked cars and the sidewalk.
Cool.
Yeah, so you're completely protected.
Yeah, that's cool.
Even with bike lanes, it always makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I don't like to drive my bike out on the road very often.
People are crazy.
Yeah, they are.
So, lack of public transportation. If you don't have a car now, you'll definitely need one. Okay, so tornadoes.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an easy one.
Speaking of sharks, sharknadoes, those are the worst.
Yeah, you don't want to eat sharknadoes,
No,
man.
you don't want to get into sharknado for sure. Tornadoes. That's a real deal here in Dallas, and so that comes up quite frequently. And let us know in the comments, by the way, if you're local, if you've been affected by a tornado here. That would be interesting. But for myself, living here 20 plus years, I've definitely heard the sirens. But I've never been involved in one personally. So and I think as a kid, we hid in the bathroom a couple of times. But I think that was my cautious mom. As soon as the sirens come on, okay, get to the bathtub and throw a mattress over you. So there are different ways. Some of the luxury builds here, when you get over $2 million, they have tornado shelters built into some of the closets and things like that. You can actually, you're talking about getting one just in case, right?
Yeah,
like one that goes in your garage.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's really simple. Like, I've lived here my whole life, almost 38 years, other than the 5 years that I was in the military. And I remember once when I was in 6th grade, I was in elementary school, that a tornado was like an F1 tornado touchdown, and it knocked down the brick wall like a quarter mile away. So that was really close. And then the only other time that I really ever saw one was when I was working in the car business, and the office, the whole building was basically like all glass, and you could actually see the tornado like in Dallas, which was kind of crazy. So I've seen 2 tornadoes. I know that they do happen, but if you're really concerned about it, you can literally go and buy a tornado shelter that you can put it into your garage, or you can build it into one of the rooms or the closets or something like that. And they're only a few $1,000s. So if you're really concerned about tornadoes, you can go and spend $3,500 or $4,500, and they have solid steel tornado shelters that bolt into the concrete foundation of your home, and those are good for up to like 200 to 240 mile per hour winds, which are like F4 and F5 tornadoes, and we're just not really getting those around here. I don't think ever. I think we've had F2s, F3s, but those are going to be typically a little bit further out to the east where they have some tornadoes. I feel like they're a little bit worse out to the east, and then like kind of like traveling around like the northeast corner all the way up to the north side, and then moving around to the northwest a little bit. But for the most part, I think it's going to be pretty rare that you're going to actually be in a tornado. But if you're really concerned, spend a few $1,000, get a tornado shelter that's big enough for you and your family, and then you just, heaven forbid, you lose your house and all your belongings. At least you're not having any loss of life. So that's a very simple fix if you're, fearful of tornadoes. But it's like, again, we've lived here most of our whole lives and never been in a tornado, thank God. So we'll keep that rolling, hopefully.
Wood.
Yeah, seriously, knock on wood.
Okay, all right. So number 8, I guess we're at now.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Hell.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
hell
if you're not saved. I mean,
that's hilarious.
Because that affects everybody everywhere.
Yes, it does.
We're talking about hail that falls from the sky,
Yes.
like giant ice cubes that can be the size of golf balls or softballs or volleyballs. Actually, I've never seen volleyball.
A volleyball? Oh my God. That's like coming, that's like a meteor, man.
No, we have seen golf ball size hail that happens practically every spring. And so, you want to think about buying a house with a garage, which will save you from that.
Most of the houses have garages, so it's pretty easy, yeah.
Or you can be like Travis and just park on the street, even though you have a 3-car garage.
Well, for one, my truck is way too big to fit in the garage. Otherwise, it would.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So how many hailstorms have we claimed on that?
Well, what's crazy, it's like ever since I just moved a little over a year ago. I was living out in Euless, and I've never been hit in a hailstorm like my whole life. I got hit with the hailstorm in Euless, and I was like, okay, I'm getting out of here, right? I'm moving up north. And then I got the truck, we got it all fixed up, right? And then there was a hailstorm a few months back, I think maybe March or April, where my truck just got absolutely destroyed. So
that was the craziest hailstorm.
That was crazy. Because you didn't even get hurt.
My whole life, no. Well, no, right? Yeah, it dumped out here. Yeah.
Well, I thought you said you didn't have any damage on your vehicle.
No, I didn't have damage. Well, first of all, I parked in the garage.
Oh, well, there you go.
I didn't have any damage on the roof.
Oh, okay. See, my house did.
I had never seen that much hail.
Dude, it was crazy. Yes, it was crazy.
It was so much. I thought for sure there was going to be damage.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's going to be people out the very next day knocking on your door like, hey, free inspection. Let me check your roof. Let me check your cars.
Yeah. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
They're
So,
still not
and my guy was cool because he actually came down and said, look, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, I got some strong shingles, I guess.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I had never seen that much hail dumped down.
I mean, the whole ground was like ice
Yeah.
almost. It was like a layer of hail. I've never seen it quite that bad either.
Yeah.
It was kind of
That was
crazy.
the craziest one.
But again, easy solutions, right? Park in your garage. And now they have these blow up things that you can put on top of your vehicle,
Yeah.
right? You know?
Yeah,
Have you
I've seen
seen
those. Yeah, they just like
Yeah, they're like
giant,
big old bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can cover your vehicle. And I don't think those are very expensive
If you
either.
don't have a garage.
Yeah, if you don't have a garage or if your vehicle just doesn't fit in the garage, you know, you can easily protect yourself from the hail. But it is something that you're going to have to worry about potentially. Again, 38 years living here, I've been hit with hail twice in the last year. But other than that, I've never really been affected by the hail, any of the hailstorms. So, I mean, it's very situational, very locational as well. So, again, easy things that you can do to protect your vehicles. Obviously, your roof, that's why you have homeowners insurance and you can pay, you know, your homeowners insurance. And then they'll come out there, they'll fix your roof, they'll fix your fence, they'll fix your gutters and all that stuff, repaint, respaint.
What kind of painters are you?
Yeah, restain and repaint
are you
fences.
hiring?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You don't want to know.
Okay,
bro.
all right.
Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Don't be
Speaking
jealous.
of the next one, friendliness.
Yeah.
So clearly,
Extremely friendly.
your painting crew is really off the chain.
Yeah,
there.
Spanx wearing Spanx out there.
Yeah, this is mainly for you New Yorkers, though. All right, so we know how much you don't like to talk to people. You don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, don't be coming down here with
just want
that.
to get your bagel and your coffee and go on about your day, right? And friendliness, Southern hospitality, it is a real deal here. You know, be careful walking your dog.
People will wave at you and say hi.
Yeah, they're gonna stop and want to talk and ask about what do you do for a living. Tell me about your family.
Yeah.
This is all in the morning, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Before you
I got things to do.
You're like, I'm just trying to walk my dog, have some coffee, and think a little bit, right? You go up for that quiet time. Like we talk to people nonstop all day. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go for a nice little walk in the neighborhood. And then you're like, you see neighbors, and you're like, uh-oh. And they're like, oh, hey.
You gotta turn it on, man.
Hey. So, anyways, all joking aside, I mean, it is. This is very community oriented in Texas. Same thing with Dallas. And we hear that a lot. People are really unexpecting of what they receive.
That's probably one of
when
them.
they're visiting. People, just random people talking to them in line or at the store. Oh, I like your shirt, or I like your earrings, or things that they get compliments on. So.
Yeah, I hear that all the time from clients that actually move here. They're like, I was not expecting everyone to be so friendly everywhere I go. Like literally, when you drive around the neighborhood, everyone waves. Like we're in a big golf cart community, so everyone I had a couple that were parked their golf cart in front of my house, and I was outside, and I was like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, hey, how's it going? Anyways, their whole family, there was two families, they got off and they just started talking to me. You know what I mean? They were like, I guess a bunch of their towels were like falling off or whatever, and so they did that. But anyways, ended up having like a 10-minute conversation with some random neighbors, but people are here are very friendly. We hear that a lot. So if you like to stick to yourself and you don't like friendly environments, then there's probably some places you could find that aren't friendly, that are more New York style, but for the most part, everyone's pretty nice out here.
All right, there you go. 2 more to go. Let's talk about flat. I always call it flat Dallas. And it is. It's flat. So especially you West Coasters, you Northerners, and you beach goers that love all of that stuff. Well, we got none of that.
Yeah.
No
we
mountains.
Got cool lakes.
Yeah, we got no mountains, no beach. We do have beach on the lakes.
Yep, for sure.
We feature that. We call it lake life here. Now you've got 5 major lakes within probably 15 to 20 minutes of wherever you're at in the Dallas area. So we love to spend time out there. Alex, actually, he's always out there every chance, even during weekdays. We're like, wait, when do you
are you actually working, or
you're not
working?
He's out there just cruising his jet ski
around.
Got
his 18-month-old out there doing backflips on jet skis and stuff.
And he's the oldest, dude. His kid's going to be such a bad influence.
He's going to be a horrible influence. I love it, though. I kind of like it,
He's going to, I can see my kid now. Ryder told me to.
Ryder told me to do a backflip off with this dirt bike, and
Ryder jumped off the bridge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you already know, man.
Yeah,
he's gonna be wild.
Damn it. I'm like, Okay.
I like the braveness.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, but there is a little bit of elevation changes. You get out to East Dallas a little bit. You get over to West Fort Worth. I mean, there is what they call hill country in Texas, but we kind of miss that here in Dallas.
Cedar Hill's really pretty down there.
Yeah,
too.
you
They
get
got some
down
good
there.
elevation.
Yeah. I mean, really just mainly around Dallas. It's kind of known for its skyline. you know?
Exactly.
I mean, I do love the skyline, the downtown Dallas, just seeing the building, especially at night, always something cool. But otherwise, no beach, sorry, no mountains. So you get down to Cedar Hill. There's some good parks down there with some really crazy elevation. So you can do some good hiking down there. Lots of parks in Plano. There's a 800-acre park. They can do lots of hiking and zip lining and all kinds of cool stuff. So plenty to do even if you're the outdoorsy type.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff to do.
It's just not going to have the same feel. It's not like you're going to be in the forest of the Pacific Northwest.
Like Canada, when we were up in Banff and stuff like that. That was beautiful.
So, we went hiking in Portland a couple of months ago. Super cool. But anyways, it's flat. And that's going to bring us to number 11 on the list, which we saved for last, which was property taxes. Because, well, they suck.
Yeah, I mean, they do.
They do. I think Texas is probably one of the worst states in the U.S. for when it comes to property taxes. That's just the reality of it. Now, what you can do is we'll link a couple of property tax estimators down in the description below. So you can go down there and you can kind of take a look at if you're thinking about purchasing a home in a particular area. First of all, you make sure you call us, all right?
Yes, please.
Make sure you call us. All of that information is below. But we'll link a couple of property tax estimators for each county that you can go in there. If you're thinking about moving to Collin County or Dallas County, and you can put in the price of your, the budget you have, and then actually pick the school district, the local college, and other items that you can select in there to give you a really solid estimate of what your property taxes may be. Now, there are ways to fight that. First of all, you can protest your taxes.
Yes.
So there's various law firms. That's what I would recommend doing versus trying to fight it on your own. You can hire a law firm. Typically, they're usually a fee. That's it. A fee, or maybe they take a percentage of what they save you.
Yep.
But they'll argue your property taxes for you. Anytime I did that before, they've always reduced them. And then, of course, now Texas just passed legislation for the biggest homestead exemption increase and property tax cut in history. So they are getting a little bit better about it. They realize that it's a problem.
Yeah, they're working on it more and more and more too. Yeah, to get it.
I think they should have nipped this in the bud a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It would probably cause prices to go even higher and
more
people to move here if property
It'd
taxes
be
were
ridiculous.
Yeah,
because we don't have a state income tax.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that no state income tax. So if your earnings are on the higher side, then for some of us it's like, okay, we're willing to make that compromise, right? Because I'm going to pay on the property taxes where I can apply homestead exemptions or senior exemptions or military exemptions. And then have a law firm, so there's ways to bring that down, and you want to do that. So there are ways to combat it, bring it down, and get that locked into place, get it under control. But otherwise, it could be sticker shock for a lot of people because they're used to lower property taxes. But again, it's like you're paying 14%, 10% in income tax.
Exactly. I mean, I hear from people all the time. It's like, the property taxes suck, but I'm spending less money on property taxes than I would on my state income taxes. So, I mean, I think it's kind of a wash. Yeah. If not a little bit better, even yet still, since you're not paying those state income taxes. So you just got to run the numbers and see what works best for you. But I guess that would probably be, that would be up very high on the list of cons. It's some high property taxes, but at the end of the day, it's a great place to live overall, except for these other 11 things. If you don't like these 11 things, then
but we warned you. That's why we made this video.
Exactly.
We warned you ahead of time. But if you still consider making the move here, then go ahead, reach out. All of our information is below, and we hope to see you around town.